Hey everybody, my name is Ellis Johnson. I'm a writer for Fantasy Pros. You can catch up my work there. I'm writing articles on everything this offseason, but here we're doing a best ball draft. So what we're going to do today was doing a Schnauzer 2. So that's the second Schnauzer here. It's a $3 buy-in. It's the usual drill here. You got that one QB, you got those 3 receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex, 1 tight end, half PPR scoring. Let's crush this one. We're going to have a great draft today. Check out my other video if you want to do a super flex draft. I've done one of those for the puppy, but this time we got into pick number 10. So we're picking from the 10th spot. We're gonna have a great time. Let's see how she goes. Hey team, let's have a good one today. With the first pick of our draft at number 10, we got one of my favorite guys, and he's everyone's favorite guy. That's not a hot take. I'm not trying to tell you something you don't already know, but we know Ashton Genty's a beast. Now, the reason I went running back over receiver, because I know there were still Malik Neighbors on the board who I love as well, is because I think that top tier of running backs dries out a lot quicker than those receivers. So we took Ashton Genty, who fell to that 10th pick. We're hoping to take a receiver probably on the way back. We're going to see how she goes, but hey, if one of those running backs, especially that top 4, you know, your Bijans or Gibbs, hell, CMC's up there too, falls to that kind of 10, 11, 12, I love taking them, and then because there's multiple receivers I think can give you similar value, so let's take that running back in Genty. With the second pick of our draft, I was actually really hoping Drake London would fall. I think Drake London has a great target share, and I think Penix is going to really, as a gunslinger, and really emphasize that. Unfortunately, he went the pick before. We're still looking at receivers, got AJ Brown and Brian Thomas Jr. on the board, both absolutely electric players. I'm worried about that Philadelphia pass attack, just the volume-wise. And BTJ, I am a little cooler on him than most, mostly because I think Travis Hunter, as just a receiver, was a top 10 worthy pick. Obviously went higher than that. You had a top 10 worthy pick to any offense, and you're going to be a little bit worried about the target share. BTJ, welcome to the team though. That's a dynamic RB1, WR1. With the third pick we got here, we're in a really nice spot. I'm liking this 10th pick, how it's playing out, because we got a nice tier of running backs here with Kyren Williams. You got Breece Hall, you got James Cook, who I know there's some stuff going on in the news right now. But you also have the top tier quarterbacks, which are such an advantage. You have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, and the best part about being 10, only 2 teams picking between us, and they're not going to take all the quarterbacks. So I'm going to hope to get a quarterback on the second way around. But right now, let's take my favorite of the running backs to pair with Genty. Kyren Williams is the answer. He's led the league in red zone usage over the last 2 years. I don't think it's going to change. He might not be the sexiest player, but you know what? The team loves him, and he's going to get that usage. Welcome to the team. Just as we were hoping, one of those quarterbacks came around, and it wasn't just one of them, it was probably arguably the best quarterback of them, and that was Josh Allen, absolutely smashing that. Our team right now, Josh Allen, Genty, Kyren, Brian Thomas Jr., pretty fire if you ask me. With pick number 58, you know, I kind of regret my choice on this one, I'll be honest, but hey, that's why we do these videos. No draft is going to be perfect. I wanted to buy the dip on Joe Mixon. Now, I know because Nick Chubb's now there, he's kind of getting a little bit disrespected, but Nick Chubb's coming off of 2 devastating knee injuries. Last year, he did break his foot. He didn't need surgery, though, and they just signed him. You know, I think Nick Chubb's going to eat into the work a bit, but I think Mixon's still going to be the main dog. I took him. We got a top 3 receiving or running back core in Genty, Kyren, and Mixon. That's elite. Let's see how the receivers. On the way back, it's time for the receivers, and you know what? I was really hoping Calvin Ridley would be there. He actually went before Mixon did, though. I would have taken him instead of Mixon, but you know, we still need that WR2, and we want some upside. And I think the definition of upside, he's like the best of the upside cases. Here's Jordan Addison. I don't necessarily love McCarthy. However, if O'Connell loves McCarthy and that offense is so QB friendly, they have a great line, they have a good run game, they have weapons, I'm going to take the upside swing on Addison. For redraft, I wouldn't necessarily be as high on him, but for best ball, we just need spike week, so let's get it. We are now on the clock with pick 82. The draft is falling. No one's really falling here. It's pretty standard draft what's going on right now. But what I would like is this last tier running backs with your Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, Quinshon Judkins did fall. He went before me though. I like that tier of back. So there's the last kind of tiers of backs that you know we're getting touched every week. And there's a nice gap of receivers here with Diggs, Darnell Mooney. Those are my 2 favorite. Josh Downs is there too. Really like those guys. So you know what? We're going to take a receiver and we're going to hope to grab one of those backs as well on the way back. Stephon Diggs is getting really good buzz out of camp. Apparently he is a leader despite the pink powder or whatever. I don't really know. He is coming off an injury at ACL at 30 years old. That's a bit scary. But I think for this build, he gives us some stability at that WR2 spot. On the way back, just as we expected, those receivers dried out. Josh Downs went too. I was kind of hoping he'd be there for our WR4, but that running back stayed true. So Tony Pollard did go. That was my ideal, but Aaron Jones I still like, especially when we don't have to rely on him. He's a great upside case and a great offense. Really like that one. We already got Addison too, so we might be able to rep some stacks going on later here. So let's take that 4th back in Aaron Jones. pick number 106, we're on the clock again. Looking at this board, we got Bo Nix at the top. We got 3 tight ends. We got Jonnu, Evan Ingram, and we also have Mark Andrews there. We do need a tight end. I'd like to get one of those 3, and I don't think they're all going to go. So let's wait it out. Right now, let's take Trey Harris, huge upside receiver. Remember, we're taking shots at that position. Let's see who falls. The plan worked out. I really like this strategy of, looking at the board, knowing how many people are in between. That's what you do on the turn. When you're at 10, you got 2 teams in between you. You know there's 4 picks. You can really work it out in your head and see who might be there. So we took that receiver that we like because that really dives off a little bit of a cliff, and we knew the tight ends were going to be there. Turns out Evan Ingram and Jonnu slid all the way to us. I took Evan Ingram. I really like what I'm hearing out of camp. I trust Sean Payton. I think he's the perfect guy for a Sean Payton offense. Evan Ingram, welcome to the squad. I think that could be a huge value looking back on this at the end of the season. Okay, this is kind of a weird one. There's no receivers in sight right now. It's a couple QBs with Herbert, T-Law, McCarthy. We also got Bashal Tootin sliding a bit. I like his upside, but I think with our 4-back set, we can get similar backs with upside in the next few rounds, so I'm not going to touch him here. We also got a couple tight ends. You got your Njoku's, you got your Kincaids and stuff too. I don't mind that. And you know what? I'm actually going to double up on tight end. We just took Evan Ingram. I think Njoku's undervalued. He's sneaky. Every single year he is very good. And the best part is we know that Stefanski's there. He's going to use him. So let's double him up with Evan Ingram and let's see who falls back. Now, I'll be completely honest here. Going into this, I didn't think the quarterbacks are going to be falling, so I was planning on taking J.J. McCarthy, which is a bit early when you got a stud like with Josh Allen sitting there at the QB1, but we have Addison. I think that was a really good pairing. We also have Aaron Jones. However, Justin Herbert slid back, and I think Herbert just has better upside. He's a better player. I mean, we haven't seen McCarthy. Herbert's damn good. He's a better player, and we have Trey Harris as well. That's a great deep threat stack right there. We're hoping to have more stacks. Unfortunately, we wanted Keon Coleman. He went before we took Trey Harris, so let's just stack him again with Herbert. With Herbert, and especially after we just got Trey Harris too, I think we got a really nice pick here going in at pick 157, 154? 154. And so that pick right now, we got Quentin Johnson still on the board. Now, plug your nose. I should have said that. I should have warned you before I said his name because it's gross. It's smelly. No one likes him. He doesn't catch anything. But you know what? Between him and Trey Harris, they're going to be deep threats. There's going to be deep balls on the outside receivers with Herbert. Remember, receiver, we are taking shots. So because they're so volatile, I'll probably look for a more consistent receiver coming around the back. Someone that has more consistent target share. But those 2 upside with that stack, I love it. This receiver tier is icky. You got some upside guys. You got guys with more consistent involvement but lower ceilings. But after Quentin Johnson, I think we kind of need that ladder. And I think what we got here is Romeo Doubs. And once again, he's the offseason king. They're hyping him up again. Jordan Love loves to target him. He's on a contract year. He's going to have to show it. I really like what he brings to the table. He might not be the flashiest, but Romeo Doubs at our WR6 sounds like a win to me. Pick 178. I told you guys we wanted backs with upside, and I don't think there's a bigger back with bigger upside than Will Shipley. I know it sounds ridiculous, and I don't want to predict injury, but after 482 touches, including playoffs last year in Barkley, you gotta think that something might catch up to him. Knock on wood. I do hope not. But Will Shipley for our 4-back set as of RB5, upside to the moon. Let's take it. On the way back, what is that? Pick number 183. Not great, tight, not liking that little stress. This is worrisome because you know what, it's like Rico Dowdle, Gesicki, Darnold, Cade Auden, Rodgers, those are all pretty gross, but there's one receiver there, and I think we still want to take more shots at receiver. So Alec Pierce, welcome to the team. I know he was super boom bust last year, but remember, we're playing best ball, not baseball here, but we are taking shots. We're trying to hit dingers if we want to play baseball. And so what we got here, we got Alec Pierce. I got a WR7, not the nicest, not the sexiest, but once again, really nice upside guy, regardless if Jones or A. Rich is under center. We know they can be a deep threat, so let's see how she goes. That's our WR7, so it's all good. All right, team, so we are here at the 204. It's a really gross spot. We know we're coming to the end of the draft, but we got to make these decisions. I was hoping Darius Slayton would still be there. He actually went just before us. I just like that they paid him and all that stuff. But you know what? Calvin Austin's still here. And frankly, I don't love the Aaron Rodgers and the age thing and all that, but Calvin Austin was really good last year. Yeah, relatively, he showed a lot of shiftiness. He showed speed. He was catching some moon balls from Russ. I think he can do something similar with Rodgers, and he's going to have more of an underneath game too, so I really like that. Calvin Austin, why not take him as a WR8? Last pick of the draft, for us. So this was an interesting one, because I'll be honest, I went into this thinking I want to take Elijah Moore. I like the camp vibes and everything from him. He's a reliable target, and to pair with Josh Allen, because unfortunately, we do have Josh Allen, which is sick, but we don't have a stack with him. I do like stacks, but at the same time, I don't want to overreach them. Instead, I did something I don't usually do ever, but really thinking about it, what are the odds that Moore is going to crack our lineup? Probably pretty low. Sitting here though at the quarterback position, even though we already have two and it's a single QB, is Anthony Richardson. Now, I know it's gross, he might not start, but last pick of the draft, if there's one guy that can score more than Josh Allen or Herbert on a week, it might not be pretty, but it's Anthony Richardson. He has such a high ceiling that when we don't need to rely on this guy, I don't see Elijah Moore winning us a week. I actually see Anthony Richardson winning us a week in this format, or gaining us that many points to move on to the next round. Say it's that week 15, 16. He just lights it up. He has the upside. So let's take some 3 QBs. Let's run through our team. All right, let's run through our quarterbacks here. So right off the bat, we have Josh Allen. Awesome. Doesn't get better than that, really. Next up, we have Justin Herbert. Like that. That's a nice upside, talented QB2. And we actually got a third one this draft, as we just talked about with A. Rich. Once again, on a weekly basis, his ceiling is so high. Yes, he has to be on the field for it, but if he's on the field, ceiling's to the moon. That might end up helping us out later in the draft. And we got Alec Pierce, so that could double help. Running backs, we only have 5, but you know what? They're an unbelievable 5, okay? So we got Ashton Genty kicking us off. I'm so hot and bothered about him. You're glad that this camera only shows this part of me. We also got Kyron Williams. He's going to be a volume hog. We know he's a red zone weapon. We got Joe Mixon. I'm not scared of Nick Chubb too much. I think he's still going to be the lead bell cow on that. Aaron Jones. Jordan Mason is going to take some touches, but he is electric. He's a superstar. Even though he's old, that's a great team to be a part of. And Will Shipley, just in case anything does happen to Barkley, that's a massive win for us. By big win, obviously I don't want Barkley to get hurt. It's just in case he does miss time. Shipley's going to be the guy, and he's gotten good reports out of camp, so I really enjoy that. Moving on to receiver, we have 8 receivers. And that's because we just wanted shots. This is probably the weakest part of our team, but we got a lot of shots. So we kick it off with Brian Thomas Jr. That should be awesome. I really enjoy that guy. I mean, not my favorite player. Well, he's a great player. Not my favorite with Hunter now, but people do love him, and he has upside. Followed by Jordan Addison, the true touchdown king, the boom bust king. Followed by, we got Stephon Diggs, who's looking like he's going to be the #1 target for Drake May. That's an appealing role, even if he's coming off an ACL. Followed by Trey Harris, Quentin Johnson, upside connected to Herbert. Romeo Doubs should be pretty consistent with some upside weeks. Alec Pierce, we do technically pair him with A. Rich, but I just like the upside. And Calvin Austin could very well be a weekly contributor, considering there's like no weapons on that team. To round this out, we got 2 tight ends. Now, I kind of like going 3 sometimes, but with that A. Rich pick, we're not going to go 3. We took 2, but they're both very solid. Evan Ingram, I really like how this offseason's going for him. Peyton seems to love him. The Broncos seem to like him. He fits Bo Nix perfectly as that kind of short yardage in the middle of the field joker role. Really like that. And then in Njoku, the offense is disgusting. However, every year the Cleveland Browns offense is disgusting. Every year David Njoku is like the tight end 6, 7, 8. So you know what? He has upside even on a bad offense, but he's got consistency too. That's our 2 tight ends. That's it, team. Thank you so much for coming in and joining me on this. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me any feedback, whether you got comments, questions, things you'd like to see, different format, volume things. I'm learning this on the go. This is my 2nd video. Check out my other one if you can. I really appreciate it. But hey, guys, I'll see you next time. Let's have a good one, and hoo day.